Here's a little quiz for you to take. Do you have to look at the calendar to remember the last time you made love? Are you exhausted just thinking about sex? Or do you blame your lack of sexual frequency on your poor kids or how much time you work? Well, if you answered yes to any of these questions, you may be too tired for love. I'm Barbara De Angelis. That's the topic for my new show, coming up next. Problems and challenges that are important to you, and we're going to be giving you solutions to those problems so you can really make a difference in your life. The kind of problems we all experience. For instance, are you ever too tired for love? Have you ever read those magazines and you look at those charts where you can figure out if you're having enough sex, basically, and it says how many times a week you're having sex, and you're supposed to follow it over to see the typical amount of sex for each age group? So you figure out, I'm having sex X times a week, and you follow it over, and you're in the 65 and older category, and you're 27 years old. It is hard, not just to find time for sex and intimacy when you're in a relationship, but these days to find time to just talk, to be together, to spend time with the kids. How many of you have a hard time with your partner, and you don't feel like you really have enough time for love? Anyone feel that way? A lot of you? All right, now let me ask you this. How many women feel that you're even more tired than your husband or your boyfriend because you are doing double duty, not just working, but the kids, the house, and all that? Any women feel like you're just too tired to deal with it? Now, you're looking very guilty, and he's looking like he hopes you don't say anything. So we're going to hear from you first. Let's talk about it. Could you give her the mic? Hi.
Hi. Well, I think that's probably the case. I work about 3, 4 part-time jobs and take care of a child, 3 years old, and he's gone a lot. And so I feel like I have double duty here, taking care of the kids and working and him and everything else.
Okay, you got to stand up. We can't just hear her side. We have to hear the other side. So that means what to your relationship, to the intimacy and romance? Sometimes I just feel like I love him and he loves me, and so what the heck, you know? No,
we kind of take it for granted, and like I said, I get up earlier in the morning. Our schedules don't coincide. And so it's not always perfect. I'm going to bed when she's getting up almost. So
in other words, you're not having enough sex.
I could stand a little bit more. I'd be cool.
All right.
It's not frequent enough. Yeah.
All right. So aren't you glad you came today? So in other words, we're talking about lots of jobs, kids, everything else. All right. And we tell ourselves this is why we're not finding the time. Okay. Let me ask you a few questions. You're taking care of the kids plus the jobs. What do you do for fun for yourself in your spare time, like every week?
Exercise.
So like going to the gym or something like that? How many times a week?
At least 2.
At least 2.
I teach aerobics, yeah.
Okay. So you have the energy to go out and teach the aerobic classes. All right. And what about you? Do you watch TV at all?
I get up in the morning and do my exercising before I go to work. And
at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so we have a 3-year-old little girl that wants to see Dad when I get home from work, and then she wants to get a piece of Dad, and so.
But see, she wants a piece too, and here's. Here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing. Can you all hear this? We're talking about priorities: exercise, working out, spending time with the kids, and what happens to the relationship? It gets put at the bottom of the list, and before we know it, all this time has passed, and you don't make that time and say, you're more important than exercising, you're more important even than seeing my kids right now. I want to make that time for the person I really love, all right? Now, men and women have very different priorities, though, because sometimes we as women, don't we kind of want more romance and everything leading up to that intimacy. How many women have a hard time just getting into it? You want to have that romance during the week or something like that. You don't like just that instant, let's do it, all right? How many men feel, no, you should be able to kind of, you know, get it in there when you can and work with each other and find that special time? Any men feel this way? Yes? Hi. Want to stand up?
Yeah, I think women want something different than men. Women want the fireplace and the soft music, a cooked dinner, and candles. Whereas I know for myself, for me, romance is cuddling up in bed and kissing and doing what feels right.
Are you married?
Yeah.
So what happens with you and your wife? Would you rather just have a quickie and she wants like a long, drawn-out process? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what she would like. However, we have 2 kids, and so by the end of the evening, we're both tired. We've bathed the kids, we've read them stories, we've played with them, they've jumped on the bed.
And are you saying that you're so tired from these hard jobs like bathing children and all that, that when you get in bed with your wife, you're not in the mood for sex, or is she not in the mood?
Well, by the time we get that far, she's not in the mood. But before we get that far, she wants the candles. She wants me to turn the stereo on and maybe light that fire.
And you would like what? You can be honest with me. She's not here today. What would you really like if you could just have it the way you want?
Sit down, relax, watch TV, and then when I'm done watching TV, we'll go into bed.
So then he's ready for it. That's what he's saying. Wait, she's shaking her head. What? What is this?
Well, just listening to him, I feel really angry because I like to feel that at least my partner makes me feel that I'm really special and that I'm like the most special person on the face of the earth, and that you would take some time, to spend, taking maybe a few moments out of your week to make me feel like I was, special to you.
Any women agree? Women who agree with this? Men who disagree with this? Oh, they don't even, they're afraid. We know he disagrees with this. We know he disagrees.
Well, when I was single and I dated, I felt it was, I liked it, but I felt it was sort of a game, and we played the game, and I won the game. I got married. I won the prize, and we got married.
I see. So in other words, now you have her. You don't have to romance her. You want the action from the whole thing.
I won the prize.
He wants the prize. That's what he's saying. See, one of the things we're hearing is that men and women have very different values about how they experience that time for sex. And I'll give you a hint, and this is for any men listening and for women who want to tell their husbands or boyfriends tonight after watching the program. Guys, if you only knew, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, leave us a little note. Am I right, ladies? One note. Call us a few times during the day. Bring us something. Show us you're thinking about us when you're not with us. She's giving him the elbow. Show us when you're not with us, and you're going to find a woman is much more in the mood when the time comes. You agree with this, ladies? At least this works for me. I don't know about you. All right. Now, let's say it's been over 3 weeks since you've made love, and you're telling yourself, well, it's because we're tired and we're so overworked. Are you just making excuses to cover up other problems in the relationship? Are you avoiding sex with your partner? Next, we're going to hear the excuses couple use to avoid sex. Come back. We're talking about the traps we fall into in relationships that keep us from finding the time for love, and the excuses that we make. I mean, we're already hearing some of them. Sometimes we tell ourselves we're busy, but the truth is we really are avoiding being more intimate or getting close to our partner, or maybe we're avoiding dealing with some problems that have been there, and the thought of making love or cuddling brings up all those problems. How many of you know that you make excuses for how long it's been? You know that you do this. Yes, hi. Now, he doesn't want you to stand up because he told me at the break, I don't want her standing up, but I want to hear from you. Hi, could you stand up?
Yeah, sure. I just get so busy, and especially this last Christmas season and stuff, I just got so busy with the commitments and stuff. And Dennis works at our church, and so his evenings were tied up and stuff, and we just got really carried away with the season. And I go to school, so finals and all that stuff is just accumulating in work, and our schedules kind of get off. And so, and then I want to watch like a TV show or something, and it just kind of gets wrapped up, and I just say, oh, well, tomorrow or next week or whatever.
So how many tomorrows and next weeks does this add up to?
Sometimes a long time. And I feel bad, too. I mean, I don't feel guilty.
Like a month? Longer than a month?
Sometimes like a month and a half or so.
A month and a half, yeah. 2 months?
Yeah.
All right.
And then I know the national average is once a week or whatever. But he just, I keep saying that, well, I'll start next year or whatever.
He's going to be dead by then. You can't do that. Okay, but see, here's the thing to really think about. Because what we're hearing, these are important things. Church work, kids, Christmas presents, your important television show, of course. But here's the thing. If I said to you, down the street, and it's only going to take you a half hour to get there, there's $1 million. If you bring it, if you just get in your car right now, drop everything, go there, bring it back, give me half, you get $500,000. Do you think you would find time in your day for that?
Yeah.
What about $4,000 or $5,000?
Yeah, I think so.
We're not going to really find out what her price is. But,
Oh, I know, that's what
but you see, here's the important thing. We're really talking about what's important. Yeah. Other people and presents and everything else, and a few months go by. Yeah. And you don't have that time to be together in the relationship. And here's the other thing that happens. Does anyone ever notice this? The longer you wait, the harder it is to get back involved in it. Anyone know that? Because then you start to feel funny about it, and
then you want to make it real romantic
and
everything,
right.
and you try to strive for that, and then that gets blown out of the water because something comes up. So
right.
Yeah.
Who else finds that you can go for a long time, and what makes you feel funny about getting back involved and being intimate with your partner? What feels funny about that? Yes. Hi. Yeah. Hi. Stand up.
My husband's just got back off of a 6-month cruise. He's been home for 2 weeks.
Like a pleasure cruise?
No. We're talking a Westpac cruise. He's in the Navy. We've had sex maybe 3 times in the last 2 weeks since he got home. Now, I mean, we have 2 new twin boys and a 5-year-old daughter. But, I mean, we both get up at 5:30 in the morning together. I get up with the boys. He gets up and gets ready for work. He gets home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I have all the help I need from 4 o'clock until the kids go to bed. But from him working and me being with the kids all day, by the time that 9 o'clock rolls around, we're both totally exhausted.
So are you feeling like, okay, this is, what'd you say, 3 times since he's been home?
3
times in 2 weeks?
4 times we're pushing it because we got interrupted.
So 3 times. 3.5. So 3 times in 2 weeks, and you're feeling like that's not enough?
Well, yeah, he just came off a 6-month cruise. We need that time to bond again.
3 times in 2 weeks doesn't sound that bad to me. I mean, that's right.
But we need that time to bond again, and we haven't had that time at all.
Right. But you see, I think there's probably some other issues. Being away for 6 months is hard. You don't get a chance to talk with each other. You don't get a chance to talk about the everyday problems that are going on with the kids. Sometimes once that initial excitement of seeing someone again wears off, then you're face-to-face with the relationship and all the things you want to share and your fears and all of that. And I think maybe there's a little part of both of you that's feeling like, I'm going to stay away from each other now. Because I bet that first few nights it wasn't difficult to find that time. It's just that what happens is when you get back into your routine of things, you lose the time to relate to each other. Here's a suggestion if you have been putting off having intimacy with your partner, and it's been a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're starting to feel like it could be 2 months because now we're both so nervous about bringing it up, and it has to be perfect, like she said, and that is make a date. Make a date to be together and break the spell. Just break the spell. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't matter if it's even romantic. It's a way of breaking the ice. It's a way of being back together again and experiencing that, yes, we do want to spend more time together. We do want to cuddle more. We do feel that intimacy is important to our relationship. So sometimes you just need to say, Friday night, 7 o'clock, be there, no excuses. Isn't it worth as much as that $1 million? It really is if it makes your relationship work. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about some ways to find more time for love in your life. So don't go away. Questions that you were trying to ask me at the break. So let's talk about some of those. Yeah, hi.
Okay, I'd like to know how I could get my husband to understand that at the end of the day, I'm not a jungle gym. I mean, I should say I adore my husband. I love him. I love making love the whole bit with him. I love being with him. But I have 2 children, and they beat up on me all day long. And he comes home, and he's like, hi, honey. And I'm like, hi. And he rubs me on the back, and he's like, well, I know how to release some of that stress. Let's just, and it's like, come on, I'm tired. I want to be me for a change.
So in other words, you've been taking care of the kids all day.
Yes.
He comes home from a hard day of work. He's ready to release some stress with you in the bedroom. And you just want to be a grown-up for a few minutes.
I don't even necessarily want to be a grown-up. I just want to be away.
Left alone.
Yes.
Left alone and not touched by another human being. Here's a problem for women who stay home with children, which is that you're giving, 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 giving all day. And then your husband may come home and want from you. And you feel like if you hear one more person ask you for something, right? You just don't want to deal with it. Now, the solution is obviously not to take this out on your partner, but to structure in some time and let him know that if he gives you an hour to go take a bath, take a walk, to enjoy yourself, listen to some music, that you will feel more like a woman, less like a mommy. And then later on that night, you might be more in the mood. So I suggest asking him for that space. And if he sees the effect it has on you, I think he will give it to you. It'll really make a difference. Because you shouldn't feel like a jungle gym. My goodness. Anybody else? Who else had something? Yeah, hi.
Just like everyone else, or everyone else here, most people here, I work long hours. And I come home, and you've talked about how the women want romance, and they want little cards and little phone calls and stuff. What about what the men want? I like to see, you know, I'm visual. I like to see my wife in nice lace teddies and high heels and that kind of thing.
And what?
How do I get her to do it?
She's sitting here looking like 8 months pregnant saying, are you kidding? Are you kidding?
One time for that.
Okay, so, all right. Excuse me. Wait a minute. So stand up for a minute. So he wants you, in other words, to make an effort, maybe not this month, but...
You never know.
That's true.
I mean,
and how do you feel about once in a while making yourself look a little more special for him? What bothers you about that?
I don't have a problem with doing it once in a while. Of course, you know, we have a 9-month period here. I've been pregnant, and I'm at the last leg of it, and that's great. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. It's just that I want romance from this guy. I mean, I love being with him. I love him. I mean, I am sexually attracted to him, but it's just like, you know, he comes home, and like you said, he wants to release some stress here, and here I am. What do you say?
All right, so here's the male-female dilemma, the male-female dilemma, which is that men and women view sex very differently. Women sometimes look at sex for love, for touching, for cuddling. Men do look at it as one of the only ways they actually let go and release some stress. For you guys, you need to negotiate. That's what you're going to have to do, like after the baby is born. And sit down and talk about what you would like from him romantically, what he would like from you sexually and intimately, and begin to give and see how the other person responds. But you can't just say, I'm not going to give this if you don't change. It has to be 50-50. And I see that you've gotten into a power struggle with each other. And you're both kind of sitting there saying, you change first. Good relationships are when both people decide to change together. Okay. Anyone who's successfully combated this too tired for love thing, who's actually found some solutions? Yes, hi. Yeah, give her a mic.
I've been married a few years, and my husband and I, over a period of time, we discovered we were kind of less than interested in each other. And I decided to do something about it one day. So I made more of an effort when he, we have the same situation as they did in the morning. He would leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm certainly not too delightful at 5 o'clock in the morning, not to say of how I look. So you can't change your time schedule. You know, you have to stay within your own realm. I'm the night person. So I'd stay up at night, write him a cute little note. Hi, I love you. You're wonderful. And that really meant a lot to him, leaving in the day with that in his mind. Then during the day, I had some photos taken that made me look a little better than I did certainly in the morning in my jammies or my robe.
Oh, you mean like those photos? You go to the person, they make you all up, and they make you look gorgeous.
Right, I have some right here, the headshot photos where you look real glamorous. So that way, when he's at work, he's looking and he remembers you as being rather attractive, as being this ugly thing he left behind in the bed.
Well, I think the important thing is making sure that you don't forget to take the time, whether you're doing it her way or another way, the time to keep the romance in your relationship. All right, when we return, we're going to see if some of the couples we talked to are ready to put some more passion in their relationship starting right now. Don't go away. Sometimes the hardest part of solving a problem is getting up the courage to talk about it. But some of the couples did that here today. Any of you ready to really make a commitment to change things? Yes? You look enthusiastic.
Yes, we've decided that we're going to go home, check the schedule out, and 2 times this week coming up.
2 times.
Once in the morning, once in the evening, because we're
Tonight.
both, yes.
All right.
Tonight, when we get
They're
home.
out of here. They're going. All right. There's nothing more important in your life than your relationship. And it's up to you to make it number one by finding the time to share love together, whether it's for romance or just cuddling. Don't wait. Start tonight. I'm Barbara De Angelis. Thanks for starting your day with me. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you join me then.
A promotional fee and audience gift provided by Magnavox Portable Stereo AM/FM Dual Cassette Recorder. Smart, very smart. Its turbo bass generator gives it great sound performance from Magnavox. Waverly's My Favorite Things collection, ideal for upholstery, slipcovers, draperies, and bedspreads. This beautiful fabric is fine decorative fabric from Waverly.